Oh my gosh, finally I am bringing you my concealer review video. So it's concealer season. There are so many new, hot, popping concealers that have launched, which is amazing because 2022 was the worst for concealers. Literally one came out that I liked. So today I'm ranking 6 of the newest, hottest, not ranking, but I'm talking about 6 of the newest, hottest, most popular concealers. A large majority of these I actually have full individual reviews on if you want to check those out. But I spent the last few weeks really thoroughly testing these, wearing them against one another, and I decided I definitely cannot do this ranking style because these concealers are very different from one another, and some are just better for different skin types, some are better with a different style of makeup, so that's what made it hard for me to rank. I do have favorites that I will share with you, but let's go ahead and get into it. I have 6 super popular concealers to talk about today, starting off with, this isn't rankings, but I will say this is my least favorite concealer, the one that I probably would reach for the least, but it still is amazing. So think about that. I recommend all of these concealers for different reasons. So this is the Makeup Forever HD Skin. This is one of the older concealers in this video, meaning I've had it the longest time, other than the Natasha Denona concealer, which I'm going to get into as well. So this one is for people who don't want full coverage, and you're like, that kind of defeats the purpose, right, of a concealer. But I find that these are amazing. One on no makeup days, just to get a little bit more even of a coverage, or a little bit more evenness, blurred dark circles on the under eyes, or my big thing is skin tints. So skin tints have been extremely popular the past couple of years, and I find that sometimes with fuller coverage concealers, they can look a little odd when paired with skin tints because you have so much coverage on the under eyes and then not much on the outskirts of the face where the skin tint was applied. This is perfect to pair with skin tint. It's perfect for that no makeup look, and while this doesn't have a ton of coverage, it has more than a skin tint, so you are still going to get some coverage on the under eyes without it looking ill-fitting on the face. So it's extremely hydrating. It's just a lighter coverage. I will say, generally speaking, yes, when I reach for a concealer, I am reaching for something with a little bit more coverage, but if I'm going for a true no makeup day, really light on the skin, this is great. And this has also been great for the Miami weather. So I'd honestly recommend this one for mature skin. I think it's going to be amazing on mature skin, and also really young skin as well. So if you have any teenage daughters, or for kids, teenagers, let's say, going to school, you don't want them wearing really full coverage heavy makeup, this is a great product to kind of boost their confidence, but without having to go in with that full heavy coverage face of makeup. So I think they'll like this as well because, kids, teenagers, they're in school for a lot of a longer day, so you need something that's not going to wear horribly or look cakey at the end of the day. I know a lot of kids have practice and whatnot. This is just a great product for that. And again, also I would use this on my mature skin clients. I would actually mix this with some fuller coverage concealers just to get the malleable formula that this has. It's really hydrating on the under eyes. So this one is great, just know it's lighter coverage. The next one reminds me of the Makeup Forever, but it's the more coverage sister. So if you really like that serumy hydrated feel, you're going to love the Tower 28 Serum concealers. They call it Serum because it literally feels like that applied to the skin. It's extremely hydrating, and I definitely recommend you check out my review. I have waxed poetic about this since its launch. It's definitely one of my favorite concealers that have launched. It is the #1 favorite, but it's for a specific purpose, right? Because I'm not going to reach for this if I want a full coverage snatch look. That being said, for this serumy hydrating consistency, this actually packs in a good amount of coverage. I would say medium. You can build it up a little bit. It doesn't quite reach full, but this has way more coverage than any other concealer that I've tried that had this hydrating serumy feel. It also looks just like skin. This is beautiful applied all over the skin, even as foundation. I recommend you check out my review if you want to see it in action everywhere. Super great for dry skin. Again, I think it's nice for mature skin as well, given the seruminess. But here is the caveat. This is why, I think it's my favorite, but I'm not reaching for it for an evening event because it's not the most long wearing. It's very pretty in how it wears down. It doesn't look too dry or crepey, but you do have to go in maybe a couple times a day just to like blend it out, get it out of the crevices. So it's not long wearing, but it's great for every day. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. Absolutely love this. It's something that's really skin-like and gives way more coverage than expected. But, you know, if you're going out for the evening, you're going through a lot of wear and tear, this one will not be the best one for you. I think one that is kind of the happy medium between long wear but also being really hydrating and giving a ton of coverage is going to be the Natasha Denona concealer. I love this one. I even put it right next to the Tower 28 a couple of times to see how these differed. So this one definitely is a lot less, not a lot less, but it's less glowy and it has more coverage than the Tower 28. But it does have kind of a similar serum-y feel, but with more coverage and more longevity. This concealer is a do-it-all for everybody. I think this one, of what I'm looking at, is probably one of the most versatile for most skin types. So you're going to love this if you need some coverage, but you know, you can spread it out for something a little bit thinner. It's hydrating, so it's great for dry skin. It's great for mature skin. I'd go a little bit light, but that's okay because you do get more coverage with this. It is beautiful. It's the more long wearing, slightly less matte version of the Tower 28, and it also has that little extra bit of coverage. There is a reason that this one has been so popular since it launched. It really is a remarkable launch, and Natasha Denona did a fabulous job with this, and I find it just looks really smooth on the under eyes as well. It lasts a good amount of time. I really like this one. Next up is weird because I have been struggling to verbalize and figure out how I feel about this concealer. This is the new Haus Labs concealer, and I like it. I don't love the consistency of this. It's really thick. It's like a thick gel, okay? I don't like it. It takes a little bit of extra effort to blend it out, so I don't love the consistency of it. However, I cannot knock the coverage that it gives. It is not drying, but it lasts a long time. So the wear on this is remarkable because I felt like when I applied it that it wasn't going to wear well because it almost looked like it might be too hydrating. It almost doesn't have a dry down. But once it sets, it really is one of the longest lasting concealers here. The concealer I'm going to talk about next, I compared a lot to this one, so we'll get more into wear time when we hit that point. This one, I don't love it though. I don't love the consistency. I don't love the blend. I like a soft, easy, smooth blend. But the performance on this is really fantastic. So I'm going to have to get over that because I think that this gives a nice hydrated look to the skin. It is less hydrating than the Natasha Denona, I would say. But that's not a bad thing because it does not look dry. And that helps it last longer. So I think they did a great job with this formula. Again, there's not a bad concealer in this review. I even like it better than the Makeup Forever, and I love the Makeup Forever as well. I don't like the application. That's very personal. Who is this for? Pretty much everybody. I think this is a really versatile concealer and it gives you so much coverage. So if you're looking for coverage, this one is your girl. Now, if you want something snatched and like extremely long wearing through the sweat, through the tears, then you're gonna wanna go for the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Awakening Concealer. This is a great one for longevity. Now, the caveat to this is it is a bit on the drier side. It's more mattifying than any of the other concealers that I'm talking today. So if you are really oily and you want matte, this is the concealer you're going to want to go for. I would say this is the one that I can see having the most mixed opinions on because this is not for everybody. I like it. I do make sure that I prep my under eyes properly so that I can add some additional hydration to it, but man, it lasts all day. It has like a medium to full coverage to it. So this one is for heavy duty, full coverage, oily skin, that kind of situation. I think you're gonna like this. And what I couldn't quite put my finger on, this is what I was talking about earlier, Haus Labs versus Makeup by Mario. I think I went almost a full week wearing these two, trying to see what's different because the consistency of these are super different from one another. This one's matte, this one's more glowy, whatever. But once they're on, they wear pretty much the same and they look pretty much the same. So I would say if you have more dry skin, I would go for the House Labs over the Makeup by Mario. If you have oily skin, I would go for the Makeup by Mario. But these wear very similar and look very similar once the powder is on and all of the makeup is on. Individually, I feel like without all that extra stuff, they do look different. This one you can tell has more glow. But once you get the powder on, these are really, really, really similar, which I thought was rather odd. But this one definitely has more of a dry down to it. Lastly, now this one is the only one that I have not really talked about or applied on my channel yet, but I have been using and abusing it, and it has come in at the last minute and might be my favorite. It's fighting heavy with Tower 28 and Natasha Denona, but the new Gucci Beauty Concealer. So the biggest downfall of this, as always when it comes to Gucci Beauty, is the price point. But this is beautiful. It's unique from the rest of these because it has almost a blurring dry down. I think this is going to be phenomenal for dry and mature skin. It's not super duper hydrating though. If you need extra hydration, I would go for the Tower 28 or Natasha Denona. But the way I can describe this is almost like a soft focus semi-powder dry down. This looks like it dries almost a little powdery, but that gives a really soft blur, soft focus effect on the under eyes. This also does not provide full coverage. I would say it's a medium coverage concealer, but it feels light as air on the under eyes. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous concealer, very luxe. If you need that full snatched, full coverage look, I would not go for this if I were you, but this one, if you're looking for blurred, if you're looking for something that's lightweight, this is going to be the one for you. I think that this is a really special formula. I don't think I have a concealer right now that quite has the finish that this one has, and it's almost self-setting. It's amazing. I love this one as well. Now, in terms of like what's my favorite, I am loving these three the most. So the Tower 28, in my opinion, is so beautiful for everyday, but I'm not wearing it for long wear. The finish of this is so skin-like compared to most other concealers that I've ever tried. It really is a unique formulation that has launched lately, and they killed it. So I almost love this because it's so different from any other concealer that I've tried. Now, the Natasha Denona is heavy-duty beautifulness. It lasts a long time, gives you full coverage, and is really smooth. It's super duper reliable. This is going to continue to be a staple concealer for me. And this Gucci Beauty, while lighter coverage than Natasha Denona, again, a really unique, almost dry down and finish to it. It's really soft and beautiful on the skin, and it doesn't look heavy, which I think is amazing, and it still has that medium coverage. Very unique formula, very expensive though, so that might be your answer, but hopefully that answered all of your questions. I mean, the general thoughts, right? If you have oily skin, I recommend the Makeup by Mario for you, and I also think that the Gucci Beauty would do you well. If you have dry skin, Tower 28 is gonna be amazing if you have like really, really dry skin. Also, the Makeup Forever is going to be amazing for you. If you have a young skin or teenager, Makeup Forever is the way to go. Even the Tower 28, this is also really great for acne-prone skin also. And then I think what's kind of versatile for everybody, Natasha Denona and House Labs, and these both provide the most coverage as well, and they're not too drying, which I think is great. So I hope this video was helpful to help you pick out which concealer is best for you. If you've tried any of these concealers or multiple of these concealers, make sure you share your experience down below and your skin type. I would love to hear back about that because we all have different experiences, and I can only talk about what I've tried on myself. There's thousands of others of you that have tried this and have had different experiences than me, I'm sure. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It has been on my mind for literally the last month. I feel like every time I've put concealer on, it's been for this video. So I'm happy it finally came down to this moment. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, and hopefully no more concealers come out because this is too much. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.